Hello everyone, welcome to another Virtual Mentors Club live stream. Today we're going to be covering 5th grade math, and the TEKS that we're going to be covering today are 5.3H and 5.3I. And here are two practice problems that we are going to do today. Okay, so first things first, as always, whenever we have a problem, we have to highlight all the important information that the problem gives. So, let's start with problem number 7. Mrs. Jaffe has a total of 428 ounces of pretzels to put into 5 bowls for a party. She puts an equal number of ounces of pretzels into each bowl. How many ounces of pretzels did Miss Jaffe put into each bowl? So, to draw this out, Mrs. Jaffe has this much pretzels. Let's just use this shape to display how much pretzels Miss Jaffe has. And let's just say this is 428.5 ounces. And you know what, let's not make it a weird shape. Let's make it a rectangle. So let's say this is the amount of pretzels that Mrs. Jaffe has, and she wants to split the 428.5 ounces into 5 parts so that she could put each part into one bowl. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So basically, by this display, we're trying to show that Mrs. Jaffe is splitting 428.5 ounces into 5 bowls. So we have the visual. Now all we have to do is the math. So how do we divide this number by this number? Well, we do it by long division, and we do it as we do with normal numbers. So 5 is our divisor, since that's the number that we're splitting. And 428.5, that's our dividend, or the total number that we have. So how do we divide this by this? Well, let's start by dividing 42. Well, 42 right over here. We see that 42 goes into 5. 5 goes into 42 8 times. So 8 is over here, and we subtract by 40. That gets us 2. Bring down the 8. We have 28. So 5 goes into 28 how many times? 5 times. So 5 times 5 is 25. So 25, and then subtract, and 3. And then bring down the 0.5. First we have to put the 5 over here. So there's really not much of a difference between dividing by normal numbers and dividing by decimals. As always, the only difference is that we have a decimal, obviously, but for this decimal, after we divided until right before the decimal, then what we have to do is we have to put the decimal up right here and then solve the rest of it normally. So bring the 5 down here. 5 times 7 is 35, so we would put the 7 right here, and then 35. So this would be our answer. Another way, in case you get confused, is you could just multiply 428.5 times 10, so that would get you 4,285, and then you would do your division and you would get 857. Then all you have to do is divide 857 by 10. So if you're dividing by 10, you're essentially just moving the decimal place to the left. So this would become 85.7. But either way works. As long as you get the correct answer, it really doesn't matter how you solve it. So A is the correct answer. Now let's move on to the second problem. I'm not seeing any comments. If you have any comments, please feel free to, or if you have any comments or questions, then please feel free to type it in chat. It'll help me know what I'm trying. It'll help me know if I covered a topic or if there's something I need to clarify or something like that. Now let's start number 4. And first we have to get our highlighter and we have to highlight. So the shaded part of the model represents a fraction. Another fraction was subtracted, so another fraction was subtracted from the first fraction. And then I would assume this little visual demonstrates the subtraction of one fraction from another fraction. So which expression does the model represent? So let's take a close look at this model. So we see that there are 15 parts. So we already know that this fraction is going to be 15. 15 is going to be the divisor, because that's the number that we're dividing the whole. And it said the shaded part of the model represents a fraction. So we see there's one. You know what? Let me do it with a different color. Let's make red. Let's do red. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we see that there are 11 shaded parts out of 15. So we could use that number. So we see that that is our first fraction. So 11 is right here. Let me rearrange this. So 11 is our first fraction, and the top says another fraction was subtracted from the first fraction. And we see these crosses over here, so that must mean that this is the subtraction that occurred. So we see that the crosses cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. So because of that, we can say that this these 6 squares, 6 out of 15, was the second fraction that was subtracted from the first fraction. So minus 6. So we already got our fraction right over here. So if we look at the answer choice, we don't see any answers that fit this, but that's because we need to do this thing called simplifying. And what simplifying basically is say you have a fraction 2 over 4, and then you have another fraction 1 over 2. These 2 and 2 over 4, if we have like a little pie area, this is divided by 2 and this is divided by 4, and this is our shaded region and this is our shaded region. Essentially, the amount of these two slices are the same. The area, the part by whole, is the same. So the only difference is that this has a divisor of 4. The pie is split into 4 parts, whereas this is split into 2 parts. But overall, the area, you could say, is the same. So that's what simplifying is. How you do it is 2 divided by 4 and 1 divided by 2. What you have to do is divide by a common number. So 2 can be divided by 2 and 4 can be divided by 2. So you can divide by 2 and divide by 2 to get 1 over 2. So let's do that for these fractions. We see that 11 is a prime number and cannot be divided by anything except 1 and 11. And we see 6, and 6 can be divided by 3 and 2. And we see 15 can be divided by 5 and 3. And let me actually write this out. This can be divided by 1, not 2, 3, and 6. And 15 can be divided by 1, 3, 5, and 15. So we see 2 common numbers. That's 3 and 3, which means that we can divide the top and the bottom by 3, and we would still get the same fraction. So let me actually move this over here. So we have to divide by 3. So divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is equal to 2. 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. And we get 2 over 5. So our new equation would be 11 by 15 divided by 2 over 5. It's the same thing. All we did was simplify the second fraction. And as we can see, that matches answer choice J. So J will be our correct answer. Right, so I will wait for 2 minutes. If there is any questions, then please feel free to put it in chat. If not, then I hope you have a great rest of your day, and after 2 minutes the live session will end. want to see my work, here, all of the work that I did. Okay, so it appears as though there are no questions left. If you have any questions that don't come right now but come into mind later, then email us at mentorsvirtual@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help us, and it encourages us to do more of these videos. And yeah. In addition, follow us on Twitter at virtualmentors1, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.